just want to do a quick video real quick. Um, so I think either earlier this year or kind of end of last year, I had a batch of seeds or seedlings that had already germinated, specifically like Jabos and Eugenias, and they all kind of like had that new growth coming out, but they were like at weird angles. You got to put them in to get the root going down. Make sure that it's in the soil properly when you're planting those things. They can be kind of confusing, right? So you got to kind of determine what the root is versus the kind of I guess new growth coming out of the top that's not a root. The stems like that, right? This one is a good example of sometimes when you do that, it comes out at a weird angle. So the reason I put them in the humidity domes is to help the already pre-germinated, I guess, stem continue to grow. I really don't like the idea of, I've seen some people recommend just plant the whole thing in, make sure the root's down, but just don't care about the stem. You just bury the whole thing, put it sideways or whatever, because it'll pop a new stalk out. And I think they're probably fine if you do that, right? Especially if you have 100 seeds to plant. Like, you don't want to sit there and worry about each one individually. But in my case, I had several $15-$20 seeds, and I didn't want to lose any of them, so I was very meticulous about it. So planting them at an angle, making sure that the new stem is coming out and the root is going down, guaranteed that this thing actually put out some leaves and grew, but it also resulted in kind of a weird angle. This isn't the first time I've done it, but I just want to point out that now that it's pretty, come on, focus, pretty established in this pot, it's starting to put out new branches, and you can see like right there, it's got a little new branch coming out, and it's kind of evening out the look of the plant. The kind of end goal there is to train it, I guess, to go up and try to make that one be its new central leader. If you do that, then the plant's gonna not look like it's tilting to the side. I know I have a couple of different trees that kind of look like that, like this guy here. Like I don't really want this shape generally on my trees. I mean, this is kind of an interesting like bonsai shape to it. This is actually my mom's tree that I've been watching for her while she's out of town, but would prefer to have a tree that goes upright unless you're into the bonsai stuff. But I do find that eventually they do kind of work their way out. Just so I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is, don't worry about the shape of the tree when it's coming out. Like, they're gonna look kind of funky like this, right? They're gonna be a little lanky, but eventually they'll feel pretty good and they'll start growing up towards the light and they'll even out. I've got a good example of one that was like that from before is one of my Orianas. Actually, here's an extreme case over here. I could prune this to make it look a little better, but I kind of like that it's a little crazy looking at the base. But let's put this one right here. But you can kind of see that it originally kind of went out like that, but then it shot some new branches up. So if I really cared about the shape of this one, I could probably prune here, and then maybe decide which one of these I like better. You could probably take this one off too. If you just wanted one central leader, you could totally do that. So just showing you that they do eventually come out of it. And honestly, let's look at this one again. You look at the thickness of these branches and how close they are together. It's about a thumb thickness apart. You got to imagine when they get bigger, well, how thick is the tree going to be? Well, let's look at my red over here. You're probably not going to have to worry about it too much because it'll fuse together into one solid trunk. Because, you know, this tree's about, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. You see, it's much bigger than my thumb. So those branches will become one solid trunk eventually too. So I'd say don't worry about it too much when they're younger like that. You can try to train it up with some clever pruning, but I think when you're putting your seeds in, just worry about trying to get the optimal outcome for them. But yeah, I don't know if there was too much point to that, but I know I fretted a lot about it over like what's the best way to plant the seed. You know, again, especially when you're paying 15, 20, you know, I guess sometimes even $80 a seed. I saw the what was it, that Plinia Ghost Ricensis available for, you know, it was like $200 a seed from Anderson Tropicals. And I think someone on the forum posted that it was they had some available for, I don't know, $80 a seed. And you know, I would be as meticulous as possible with one of those if they were coming pre-germinated. I'm just walking around looking at stuff in no particular order while I'm rambling. But yeah, I would focus on the health of the plant before, you know, really worrying about the shape of it, because they do all just kind of eventually come out of it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess I'm done rambling, but maybe I'll do another update video soon. It hasn't been too long since I've done it, but everything's starting to grow out here pretty crazy. But yeah, so anyways, rambling over, signing off. Take care, y'all.